Blackburn
Enterprises.
Thank you for coming to our channel. You could have been anywhere else, but you're here with me. Back with a new series review. Today we're going to be reviewing
Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story.
Yes, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. Really don't know where to start. Don't know where to start.
So this is
Let's
a
just
spoiler.
start. I mean, obviously it's a spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, so we definitely
For
gonna
our
be.
newcomers that may not know.
Yeah, so let's start with Evan Peters. I'm gonna say Evan Peters did I don't even know what word to use, but
He's very believable.
a transformational
Yes.
performance
Yes, that's a good word.
within
Very nice.
within this series. Like
Yes.
the way that he was able to
Embody
yeah, that's another
his
good
character.
word. Yes, the way that he was able to embody the character, and in some ways, and I don't know, some people might feel a certain way about that, but I feel like he was able to humanize him in a way. He was also able to bring this overall, just the performance. The performance was just like out of this world, and so kudos to Evan Peters, for the performance that he put on. Also, another really good performance was Niecey Nash.
Yes.
She continues and has continued to elevate her acting game. Like she's continued to grow and study and continue to evolve, and she does so in this series as well. The character that she plays, is his next door neighbor, and just seeing where, what her particular character or the character she was portraying was going through, trying to, doing what she can to help, help people and be concerned, and how she was able to portray that, did an excellent job.
I feel like Niecey Nash was phenomenal in this movie. She really,
yeah, she
oh
played
my gosh.
Glenda Cleveland.
Yes, which unfortunately passed away before it came out, but she was
Okay, that's who Molly Ringwald was. I'm
really,
sorry.
really embodied the.
You said what? What did you just say?
Listen, she really embodied that character as well.
Sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, also that's what Molly Ringwald. She looks so different. That's
She
what
does
threw me
look
off.
different.
She plays
His mom.
his stepmom.
His stepmom. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so
yes.
that's what threw me off. I did not realize that was Molly Ringwald. So if y'all familiar with Molly Ringwald, she was a big '80s star. She was in a lot of different '80s movies, and so so I was I was totally confused when I seen that she was in the movie. I was like, wait, what? I was like, when?
Right, and I hope that what's that guy name?
Who? Evan Peters?
Evan Peters got counseling after this.
Right.
Because wow, it probably took him into a dark place.
Yeah, it depends on his
view.
Not view, but how his method of acting. And speaking of method, they have what's called method actors who I think the one person that sticks out with that is
Carissa Soul.
No, he was I don't think Heath Ledger was a method actor, but the newer Joker.
Jared Leto. Jared Leto. Yeah.
Yeah, he's I guess one of those that comes to mind when whatever character he has to be all the way in that particular character. But more recently, what's the name of the guy that we did a movie review recently? That was on Breaking. Yeah. John Boyega.
John Boyega. Yes. John
he was
Boyega.
talking about how it's not really the same, but has really dark tones, I guess, within the movie. John Boyega talked about how, after when he played the role, did whatever scenes he did, and then at nighttime or whatever, he basically took the character off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot. I guess that it was better for him to do that, and that's how he does. So I don't know if Evan Peters, I don't know what. What how he goes about doing it, but yeah, so I don't know. It's so much to talk about, and so we'll go ahead and dive in that because we have to, and when we talk about certain things, when the shows or whatever, we have to be realistic and and talk in totality about a particular story or movie, show, what have you. And we can't talk about the show without talking about the real world applications of the movie and the interesting, you could say, debate, discourse, or what have you, that this brings to light when it comes to true life stories and people, choosing to cover stories like this. And so, there's a lot of drama going on behind the scenes, so to speak, because, obviously, this is a real life story that's happened to real people. The people really passed,
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, it's bringing up trauma, again, and that's very detrimental. It's a very sad situation. So how do you look at that? Like, what's your thoughts on that? And it's not just with this. Here's the thing, like, this isn't the first, and it unfortunately won't be the last.
Right.
There's a lot of stories, and not even just movies though. Like, there's even like reenactments with the different stuff
like
that comes
on.
on.
We just watched it.
Well, not Emmett Till. That I understand that, but that's more older. I'm talking about like that's.
Oh yeah, the
in
dramatizations on like
I'm
the
talking
murder,
about like even like
48 Hours,
kind of some like unsolved mysteries.
Yeah.
Those shows that are long. That like the true crime stories and stuff like not 60 Minutes. No, okay, I'm talking about
true
the
crime.
The shows that that we watch. Not
like For My Man.
Not the 60 Minutes is more like a news story, but like more so covering sad and almost tragic events, and how does that make the families who have suffered losses within these situations, and I think. To me, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it.
Yes, and you was asking me how I felt about that, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. So I feel like a right way to do that is for everybody that's gonna be portrayed or involved in this should get consent from that family their family members or whoever to actually do it. And if they don't, then they leave their part out of the puzzle. So
I don't know how you do that though, because I mean you can, but I think. If you're retelling the story, I mean, I guess you could retell the story.
Because some people are going to want their stories out there, like the people that,
Yeah, some people will, but maybe some people won't. And so I see what you're saying, where like basically they say no, they no, don't add their part. That part that you might want to include might be a major part.
Right.
That's true. So,
But it's a way you can do it too. I mean, you can have disclaimers in there where you don't show certain parts of it. You talk about it, you don't show it.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it's so many angles to look at. I mean, there's the artistic view of it, and just bringing a story like this to life. And then that's another part of the drama. So I was gonna say some people didn't know anything about this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so.
And ignorance
is bliss. So ignorance is bliss, and then there's also the thing of when you don't know your history, you bear to repeat it.
Yes.
And so, and I guess I'm not necessarily taking up for the people that did the show. However, I think some people can watch this and be more so like, okay, I got to be aware of my surroundings. Like
absolutely.
I can't be just we try to raise our daughter and be like, don't, if you go out, you go kick it or whatever, always keep your eyes on your drink. You know what I'm saying? You make your drink. Somebody's gonna make you a drink. You watch somebody make you a drink. And that's something that Dahmer did repeatedly. Like he always made some drink and make
put
some
stuff in it, and
right. And so I feel like that there's a bit of an educational thing where it's like, it gives people more street knowledge where. They won't put themselves, in the situations, seeing movies like this and knowing that there are, unfortunately, people like this that will, set you up and be ready to take advantage of you, when you're vulnerable. And so, but in the same token, some people are like, well, how many Dahmer stories are they going to do? Because I think, I've seen some conflicting stories. Like I've seen that they've done 3 or 4, then I've seen they've done 5 or 6. But they've done a number of stories on here, so that kind of I understand that argument. Is like how much are y'all gonna keep doing this? You know what I'm saying? And
rehashing this.
Yeah, rehashing it, and like I said, sending people through trauma again. And then even on the other end, I guess I don't know. I guess if everybody is talking about it and you're on social media or whatever, and then you're seeing it on social media, because one could be like, well, just don't look at it. Right, you don't gotta watch it, but you ain't gotta go through the trauma. I mean, so there is that argument. In the same token, you may not be looking for it. Right. And like you said, you just might be on social media, and
there it is.
There it is. So I mean, and then I don't know. It's just having a just open minded to how people feel. Because even like when it comes to, like, even if you go look on the timeline, right, like different timelines, a lot of people are cracking jokes about it and talking about like Richard Jenkins, which he plays Jeffrey Dahmer's dad, and now people are kind of poking fun at the fact that, you know, he also was a dad in a actual funny movie that was Step Brothers, and, you know, and pointing out the fact that he has problems raising kids, you know. And so a lot of people are, you know, bringing comedy to it, and then even in, like, I think I remember like one of the first times that I even, you know, heard of Jeffrey Dahmer was, you know, on Martin, on a classic comedy on You So Crazy, and he was talking about it during his stand-up, and, you know, of course he telling it in a comedic way. Yeah. And so I don't even know. I don't even know if I definitely don't have the answers. This is out of my wheelhouse. I don't know how. I don't know if there is. I mean, like you said, there is a better way to do it. And just like you said, I think that is something that could help. Like if you could have people, because it's all about what what's your intent. Yeah. And I think that makes sense, because some people feel like you're just making money off of
somebody else's trauma.
Right. And a lot of people don't like. That's why, you know, a lot of Black people don't like slave movies, because they feel like you're just capitalizing off of trauma away. Yeah. And so that the same thought process in taking care in, you know, the people that this affected, you know, and taking that into accountability when you're making the decision to make these movies, or make these shows, or what have you. And it's just too much who much is given, much is required. It's the same thing about the whole Mike Tyson situation. Yeah. Where, you know, I was looking forward to watching that, but then Mike Tyson came out and he was like, you know,
I didn't prove this.
Right. And so then it puts me as a viewer, and those that actually pay attention, is like, well, I don't know if I want to watch it now, because he said that they didn't
get his blessing or anything on it.
And I just think these directors, producers, you know, these big companies, I just think that just having empathy for the people that you're, you know, if they are inspiring a story, then I think at the very least you can go to the person, or go to families that are affected, especially when it's something tragic like this, and just try to, you know, I don't know what you do. I don't know if you take, like you say, you take their thoughts into consideration. Yeah. Or I don't know if you offer them money, or some people might like, there ain't enough money in the world. Yeah. But I don't know. You have to do something, but for them to have,
or let it go to some type of foundation or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, or something, but I mean, but some type of communication, and for there to be no type of communication, and, you know, you look up and all of a sudden now you're seeing this, and it's like, well, I didn't think that. I thought I was over this, and now you're bringing back up this time. And it's similar to, like, I mean, and the I don't want to say it's funny, the ironic thing, and I think that's what the Scream movies were able to do, is to point out how America is, or whatever. Because, you know, like,
romanticize
the
bad guys,
the killings and
all of that stuff, right.
It kind of touched on that, like, you know, in like Scream 2, because in Scream 2, they're going to see they're actually going to see the movie. So you see, I think it's a play on it. It talks about how, you know, people get obsessed, and at the end of the day, you know, these are real people or whatever. Yeah. And so you also have to keep in mind, or be honest about the gripping and interesting part about this, because this was something that was extremely rare, and for him to go on this span of time and being able to get away with what he got away with. So shout out to Cora K. Beauty. she talked about how she watched all of the episodes and she was talking about how disturbing it was and how it really touches on homophobia, racism, and child neglect. And so I had to make sure I sought her out because it definitely did that, especially from the child neglect part because you see, that's what I'm saying. There are negative aspects to it, but I guess the positive aspects is that you can see what child neglect can do to a child, and the fact that his mom was like, all right, I'm out, deuces, and you figure it out on your own, and just him trying to navigate his life as a young teenager and not having the life skills to do so, and what they end up doing. And then the idea of, what do you think about that?
Yes, most definitely how childhood affects what you end up doing as an adult, and the fact that he never felt wanted, he never felt accepted by his peers nor his family members, and he always was like a peculiar type child. Makes you wonder, like, why didn't he get some type of treatments or something early on, like his dad tried to do it later on in life, but it was pretty much too late then because he has already developed into the person he is. So that that's why early intervention is so important. You see something that's kind of off about your child's fascinated with death, something, you got to get them some type of help or some type of counseling or something before it spirals out of control like it did.
Yeah, I agree. And another thing that I was able to show was actually racism and how
the system fails us.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I think sometimes when people think of racism, they're just like, people have the they think like, they don't think about the implication. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. The systems that are put into place to help perpetuate the racism.
Well, yeah, I'm not even talking about. But see, yeah, that's not that's true. I agree, but I'm not even necessarily talking about that because I think sometimes when people think about it, for one, they think people are just complaining just to be complaining. But two, they think that it just affects the people that they're being racist to. But what you fail to realize is it not only affects them, it affects a whole community. So with them not responding to or taking the character that Niecey Nash was playing, taking her the things she was saying serious. A child end up something end up happening to them. The people that that people could have got closure a lot sooner. You know what I'm saying, if they would have paid attention to, and they definitely could have stopped future things that happen to other people. You know what I'm saying?
And not only Niecey Nash, but even when the Laotian, when the family went to court the first time, and the judge was like, I can't understand you, can your son come up here? Like the way they were treated in the courtroom and the lack of punishment and empathy that they got and Dahmer received because of what he did the first time. That was because they were brown people too, so it's not just black, it's everybody, and it's like they could have saved so many people if they would have put him behind bars the first time. Right,
and if they value, the words
of
of
black and brown people.
Right, exactly. Overall the story is like it's very disturbing and unfortunately interesting because because this is not regular. This is not something that happens often.
It's a mind of murder.
You can't. Part of you I think is going to be intrigued to know like how did this happen? How could he have gotten away with this? You know what I'm saying? How could he have been able to do these type of heinous events for so long? And just like I said, and just keeping in mind again, having your mind or your thought process about the other people that it affects, and how I guess you want movie creators and directors and producers and to try to take a different approach to it, especially when they're using real life individuals when you have tragic events that affected families.
Yes.
And so it's a lot of things to take. There's a lot of things. It's definitely a conversation piece. It's definitely something you can talk to about, and the overall performance is just like we started off with. It's just an excellent job for other people. So I definitely would recommend it. You know what I'm saying? If you can get through it, if you're a person that's squeamish, so to speak, then it might not be for you. But if that's something that doesn't bother you as much, you know what I'm saying, just the performances. If you like acting, you know what I'm saying, just tune in for just Evan Peters' overall performance and what he did, and Niecey Nash's performance as well. You know, I would just say tune in for that.
Yeah.
Anything?
Also, if you like into psychology or psychotherapy or child care, educator, anything like that as well, I think you should watch this movie because it shows like what your interactions with humans can do, what early intervention can do, and just sheds light on that as well.
I agree. I totally agree. All right, if you want to go ahead and do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button. We definitely appreciate it, and it helps out the channel. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, bruh, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We definitely appreciate it. And you can see more videos like this one. And if you want to go ahead and do us another favor, if you want to go ahead and hit that button that's shaped like a bell, you go ahead and do that. You'll get notification.
Every time you drop a new video.
Every time we drop a new video. And if you want to go ahead and do us another favor, you want to go ahead and comment down below. And what should they comment?
What do you think about Dahmer and this whole situation? And how do you think we can be more mindful of others, like my husband said earlier?
Yeah, so what do you think about, Jeffrey Dahmer and the Jeffrey Dahmer story? And how can, how do we, being mindful of families when they have, when they've been a part of, horrific events, how do you take them into consideration?
Yes.
I know that was long, but you know what we're trying to say.
Yes.
All right, we appreciate every single one of you, and I guess we'll holler at you.
Peace.